I had one of the most bizarre things happen to me last night up in the astral realm, in the dream state, in the dream world. And I thought I will share this with you guys because I'm not really sure what to make of it. So perhaps the act of sharing the video, the occurrence, may either bring some amusement, some humor, and perhaps some clarity to me and to you guys as well. So I went to bed right around 10 last night. And for a couple of hours or so, I was in that state in between sleep and waking. The same state Edgar Cayce, who is also known as the Dream Prophet, used to get into deliberately, consciously. I got into it unconsciously. This is the same state he used to get into where he was able to read into people's future, make very accurate predictions, and I believe his accuracy in predicting people's future was crazy, 80%, 90%, something ridiculous. So it's definitely a magical state, and I got into it unconsciously. You're asleep, but you're awake. And so maybe a couple of hours later or so, I come more into a waking state, and I remember this dream that I just had. I was basically passionately making love to this beautiful woman, and in the dream I knew her very well. And well, we were in class, and we were in a classroom, sitting in a classroom learning, and after class we went somewhere, I guess, with a bed, and we started, making love very, very passionately. And I knew this woman, this soul in a woman manifestation. I knew this soul very well. And so when I was sort of coming out of the dream and realizing that I am in my bedroom, in my hut in Pai, Thailand, I also, as I'm sort of coming back, the realization hit me. Holy shit. I come to this classroom to learn every night. It just hit me. It just hit me out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. I'm like, whoa. I come to this every time I go to bed. I come here to this classroom and I'm learning. I learn. And it all hit me, man. When I go to the dream world, I go and I learn. There is a classroom. I go there every night. Now I am in this in-between state as I'm waking up. And all this just hit me. I'm like, whoa. The woman that I just made love to, that's my classmate. That's a mate of mine. That's a classmate, a soulmate. And we're both in the same classroom learning the same thing. And I knew everybody in class. I knew this classroom. It just hit me. It just hit me. I'm like, whoa, I come here every night. Every time I go to bed, I come here and I learn. But this was the first time that I was conscious that I come here and learn every night. See, I do go to this classroom every night. I go to bed and I learn whatever I'm learning. And then that's why every time I wake up, I'm hit with an epiphany or something, or new ideas for videos come up in my head. Like, it happens whenever I wake up. And I literally feel like I just reincarnated with some new knowledge, with some new information. And it gets ingrained in my subconscious. See, my brother, we were talking about it the other day. When he was a kid, he used to go to sleep, and a bomb, a war, can be going right around him, and he would not wake up. He would go in such deep sleep that we're pretty sure, me and him, that he used to go somewhere else completely. His consciousness, his soul would go somewhere completely different, completely alien to this realm. Because he would not wake up. We would come here and shake him like this. I'm not exaggerating, folks. Shake him and he would still be sleeping. Still be sleeping. Now, clearly, he would completely leave his body altogether. Not a bit of his awareness would be in his physical human body. And he would be asleep. He would pass out for 10, 12 hours. We would shake him like this. He still wouldn't wake up. And if he woke up, he would be, and he would just go right back to sleep. It was a struggle for my mom to wake him up to school every morning. And I paid the price because I would wake up pretty quickly. Whereas, my mom would, he would still be there. My mom would be like, did he wake up? Make sure you wake him up. She would come and she would come every 5 minutes and like wake him up again. And I'd be put in the charge of making sure he's up. It was a hopeless thing to have him up. We're pretty convinced. We were talking about it the other day. We're pretty convinced. Oh, there's a lot of ants here. We're pretty convinced, me and him, that he was completely gone somewhere else. Alien abduction into other realms in the astral. He was completely gone. I mean, completely gone, folks. Completely. It's scary how gone he was. Huh. And so yeah, last night when I got 2 hours later, say around midnight, I'm like, it just hit me. Like, when something hits you, like, wow, I come here to this classroom every single night to learn. This is where I come to learn. This is when I'm not active in the physical, I'm here in this classroom learning. And I knew everyone in class. I knew the girl that I was involved with, that I was making out with, was very passionate. I knew her. She was a soulmate. I mean, a soulmate doesn't, we have many soulmates. And she might be here in the physical, and we go and we learn. We do our learning in the dream state. She may be in different realms. She may be back in my star system in Sirius, and she also comes to attends the same class, the same learnings. It's really, really, oh man, it really tripped me out and amused me at the same time. But it turns out, folks, I go, and probably you do the same thing. Every night that I go to bed, I go and learn. Every time, every single night, when I go to bed, I go to some classroom and I learn. I'm telling you, I knew the teacher. I knew everybody there. I knew every single person there. I knew everyone, and it seemed so routine. It seemed like I come here every day. I come here to this astral classroom every day, and I learn. And it really, like, it didn't surprise me so much, because I always wake up feeling like I just reincarnated back into my body, and I got new fresh ideas in my mind, and they start to flow. Especially if I got really good sleep, then I must. When I get really good sleep, I suppose the learnings get there deeper. Like today, I got really good sleep, so I woke up with a bunch of ideas for videos and stuff. And it definitely feels like every time I go to bed, I wake up, I reincarnate back into my body, and it feels like I received something, a DNA upgrade, or an epiphany, or a teaching, a learning, some wisdom. And I actually feel like my DNA is changing now. My body's DNA is changing. And I think that happens when we go to bed, like all the changes that occur, the upgrades that are being done by ETs and stuff, because it's a DNA war right now, between like all the, it's not really a war, I suppose, but yeah, there is like a DNA, because it's all like DNA essentially. The human being is the result of an experimentation of several different strands of DNA based on the different ET races that are involved in the creation of a human being. That would be the Anunnaki, the Reptilians, the Pleiadians, and the rest of them folks. The negative ones, the positive ones, It seems that the human being is the result of that experiment. So, like for example, you hear about certain people in the elites that have physical immortality because they sort of received some upgrades from their fellow reptilians, if you will, the negative, malevolent beings. And you hear about that. You hear stories of certain few selective individuals who have physical immortality because they received it via DNA upgrades. You also hear about it in like the Tree of Life, supposedly. I was watching a documentary on this yesterday, and supposedly the Tree of Life, the reason why Adam and Eve were casted out of the Garden of Eve is because they ate from the Tree of Knowledge, and if they had eaten from the Tree of Life, then they would have also gained physical immortality. And because humans are originally a slave race. Now these ants, man, I think one of them bit me in my balls. Jesus. Okay, so what I was saying, yeah, so the Tree of Life supposedly is actually you know, it could give you immortality or longevity. So you know, it's sleep. I think we need sleep, even, you know, at any level. Even if you're a breatharian, you still sleep. You know, the breatharians tell you they still sleep 2 to 4 hours. I think we need it because we're supposed to go to the astral, because we're supposed to be in those states. We're supposed to go to the astral plane, which is the dream world, because that's when we can go and learn. Our soul can go and do some learnings to bring it back to this realm, and that's when we receive certain DNA upgrades to our physical body as well, to our vehicle. Like lately, I've just really been disliking to eat physical dense foods. I don't think they agree with my body anymore. I really don't. I think over the last 9 months or so, ever since I heard about the breatharian message and I understood it, I think my body's now catching up to what I understand intellectually. So now it's beginning to reject physical food. It don't want it. It's one of those things like it's kind of like you know, Jon Snow when they offered him to be the king in Westeros, and he's like, I don't want it. I don't want it. And it's like that with me and with solid foods now, even fruits. Like you know, I look at a fruit, I'm like, I'd much rather juice you and drink you. You know, because my body, I think, is just receiving certain DNA upgrades based on the mind and based on other factors as well. It's like, all right, let's put in some lighter fuel here. Keep you light, keep you sharp. So sleep is very important, and I've come to realize that, and I've come to value really good night's sleep. Like I'm going to Kopangan in less than a week, a few days. And I booked a place there, and the first thing I asked is like, how was the sleep there? I mean, it's a private place in the jungle, so you know. But then I asked, I'm like, you know, are there any noises? Are there any motorbike noises and stuff? I just had to make sure, because I've really come to value sleep, because I'm seeing that what happens when we're sleeping is something that our conscious mind cannot even begin to comprehend, folks. It cannot even begin to comprehend. It's incomprehensible. Like what hit me, the realization that hit me, is I have been going to this classroom every single night. And it was only yesterday in that state that I've come to realize that I have been going to this classroom every day. It's only last night. So I guess what was happening was something my conscious mind could not remember. When I would wake up, my conscious mind doesn't remember going to this classroom that it is going to every single day. You're having, you know, hundreds of dreams that you're not remembering. Hundreds of things are happening on a soul level that your conscious mind, when you go back to this physical realm, is not remembering. But it's all there, and it's all happening in the subconscious, and it's affecting your physical experience at some level or other. That's why it's very important that what you do at the last 2-3 hours before bed is something, you know, relaxing, positive. This is when you can visualize, affirm, contemplate, reflect, because you're really getting some deep access to some things that are really going to change your life. Most of what we do is subconscious, not conscious. Even now, me making this video, most of it's shooting at you straight from the subconscious. You know, not from the conscious. It's just, I'm just shooting from the subconscious at this point. Flow state, all flow state is subconscious mind state. when you get in a flow, when an athlete gets in a flow, they tell you, I don't know how I scored that goal. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I channel certain videos. I'm like, I don't know where this came with. I don't know where this wisdom came from. It's not the conscious mind. It's not the ego. It came from somewhere deeper. Maybe another ego, but a much more refined ego, a much more in tune ego than this human conscious left brain program. An athlete, you know, like they usually, when they get in flow and they just, everything's going in, an athlete will tell you, I don't know. I think Kobe said that he scored 81 points and he's like, I don't know, everything I was shooting was just going in. And like, it's like I wasn't even there. I wasn't, because it feels like you weren't even there. What wasn't there is the thought of I, the conscious thought, the human I ego program wasn't there. The left brain, it wasn't there. But that's not where real intelligence is. Real intelligence is actually somewhere deeper, and it can be found in the subconscious and even beyond. The subconscious is just one level. So it's very cool to see. I wonder what else I'm up to when I go in the astral. And yeah, that's why I recommend you track your dreams and you get some good sleep, folks. Really get some good sleep. I'm happy here. I'm glad I have this beautiful. My hut is the one at the. It's one of those three. The one that at the end. I don't know if you can see it. And it's very nice. It's very quiet, and you know, you just hear insects, night insects, nature sounds at night. And I have a fan app. I like to have a sound of a fan, or sometimes if I have a fan in my room, I just turn it on. But right now it's cold. And yeah, I just really like. I'm really grateful for being able to get this restful, deep, restful sleep. And I've come to value it so much that now whenever I go for a place, because you know, during the day I'm not at home, so for me the most important thing is because in the evening I'm at home, you know, sunset and on. So for me, I look, is this like a nice house for the evening? Is this quiet? Can I get deep rest in here? That's sort of my main criteria for picking out a spot. Yeah, I mean, the astral love making was lovely also, but believe it or not, wasn't the highlight. The highlight was me realizing that I come here every night and I know every single soul, every single being in that room, and I know the teacher and they knew me and it was very familiar. Man, it's spooky. So yeah, just thought I'd share this with you guys. And I'd like to thank our Patreons for your support. Thank you very much. Here's a kiss. If you'd like to support, there's a link in the description. And what else? Oh, these ants are annoying, man. I'm gonna change the location. Yeah, Saeed Wabaid at Instagram, and until next time, may the force be with you.